David from the Redneck Garage. Well, today we're going to continue on with our installation of our lunchbox locker made by Spartan. And I'm still wearing, probably need to wash it, my USA Standard Gear shirt, the people that make the Spartan locker here. There's two ways you can do the locker installation. You can either do it inside the carrier or outside the carrier. For my intents and purposes, I'm going to try to do it with it installed in the vehicle and not have to remove all that. And if we have problems with that, then I'll go ahead and pull the carrier out. But for most Jeeps, your Dana axles, you can pull the pin out and be able to install everything back in without having to take the whole carrier out, which is super cool. So if you ever have to take it back out and put your regular spider gears back in, sometimes I find it easier to take the carrier out for that. So anyway, we're going to get started on the installation of the new Spartan locker. Alright, so I got the instructions and I got the kit, so I'm going to go ahead and take the piece parts out of it, cut them out of the plastic, and then see what we got. Okay, the first step is to install your springs in the ends of your pins. So these are the pins there, and you're basically going to go ahead and just install the spring in the bottom of it. So I'll do that real quick. Okay, then it says to install the pins right in the driver holes, which would be these holes here. You can see them right there. So you got to kind of like that. Okay, and the next thing that we're going to do is go ahead and install these side drivers here, right? And they basically go where on the ends of your drive shafts. All right, so we have to take those off. So I've got the old spider gears, driver gears here, removed, and we've got the new carrier gears installed here and here. And now's the time, even though it doesn't say anything in the instructions, to go ahead and reinstall our C-clips, because something's got to keep that axle from flying out the end of the truck. Okay, I see what they're saying here on the wiring. You basically push the pin down and then you cut this little wire off, where you can grab it with some pliers and yank it out once you get it installed. So that's what I'll do, is I'll just cut this down, and you can see that when you press it down, there's a little hole there that you stick it in to hold it in place. So let me get those engaged where it's ready to go in. Okay, so here's where I'm running into issues. I've got both of the carriers in with the pins installed, right? And I've got the spacers in. And now I'm trying to put the clips in, and I'm guessing that these side slots are for where they put the clips in. I got one clip installed, but it doesn't say anything about that in the instructions or anything about how to install the clips, anything else after you install it. So I'm trying to get it lined up where I can get the clip into this axle on this side over here, and then I should be able to pull the pins out and then do my measurements, but I'm having a little bit of issues with that, and it doesn't say anything about that in the instructions. Okay, I finally got it lined up where the clip is going over this end of the axle. So let me push that in real quick over here on this side, and it should click in. Alright, so then I got that one in, and then it should, right, should be able to rotate it around and get the carrier. Now I should be able to rotate it around and get the carrier pin in there, like that. Okay, and you can see that your two cups here slide outward like that, and they go over your clips, so that's cool. Now I'm measuring the distance between the two halves, and it looks like it's like at 1.50, and that's within tolerance there. So maybe that's it. Dang. Okay, well, I did get it to click by holding one tire lock, but you can see that when you turn one wheel, they both go the same direction because it's locked in. I'm not sure I like that much play in it, but that's how they install, and the difference, the The gap is correct, so evidently that's about right. I'm going to get some Loctite and put it on my pin, and then we're going to install it in here. Okay, just a little side note here, because I thought it would break up the monotony of putting in the locker. I got my, if you remember from a few videos ago, we got in the bezel from the junkyard, Highway 70 Auto Parts. Ordered a radio on eBay, which was 35 bucks, man, and it came out of a guy's TJ, and he said it worked great. So we'll be installing that. And on Morris 4x4, I ordered this switch kit here. It doesn't come with any switches, but this is $40 for this filler because the earlier ones didn't have this. And then it has the same controls here for your HVAC. I ordered from Color Bond some paint to do the agate, which is what they call the black finish. Painting this thing, so that's super cool. It's going to have the updated look of the later model 2003 and up TJs, so I was excited about that. Okay, so here's some tips on this if you wanted a few. When you're installing the locker, your axles are basically out, and then when you get around right here basically are where your clips actually go in. Right? Now they're covered up by those carriers in the center, those caps. But when your pin isn't in, then they slide to the side, you put your clips in, and then when you put your center pin in, it pushes those out and it covers the clips, so the clips can't come out. So that was really the only real hard part as far as like installing it. You put your wires in there for your pins. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how durable these pins are, right? You can see that that's what really drives your spider gears, or what used to be your spider gears, is those pins. And there is some give to that, right? So you wouldn't want to just gas the crap out of it, because it looks like you might shear one of those pins off. Now, all that to say is we've got the locker installed, and the best part is I still have all the old parts. Right, my spider gears and my other gears, I still got all my old gears, so if I ever wanted to just take this out and put the old gears back in, it wouldn't be that big a deal. So we're going to button this thing up, get ready to put some gear oil in it. Okay, we're about to button this thing up, but I wanted to talk to you about one more thing, and that's called the lube locker gasket. Now I've got those on my website. If you click on this click right here, it'll take you to where I bought this. Also at the end of the video, if you click Redneck Garage product link, click on that, it'll take you to the page with these two. But these are super cool. The lube locker keeps you from having to use a bunch of silicone and stuff, and it is reusable. You can take it off and put it back on, and they're not that expensive. Take a look. That's what we're going to be using on the back of this, because I may need to take it back off again. Super duper. And I'm going to put the rear end cover back on, and in the future, I'm not going to do it today because I'm not finished with it, but we'll be adding some synthetic lubricant to the back to quiet down that lunchbox locker. And then once we get it on the road, we'll see if it's worth a dang or not. I believe that it will be advantageous. In the rear, you're not turning as much as the front tires. Actually, you know, when they're turning on their radius, they would need to release a lot more than, say, the back end would have to. Only on a really tight turner, you're having to release click, click, click. So it's going to be interesting to see how I like it. The installation was not that bad, probably a couple hours first time you do one, or if you watch a video, it does help. So I'm going to zip this back on, and we're going to see what it looks like. And that's it. We're just going to tighten it down here in a little bit. Right now we're good. We got everything installed on the rear end, and it looks awesome. Alright, so you can see in the back here, we got the brakes on. We've got the rear end locker put in. Got brand new brake lines to go across. New rubber line going over there. And the next thing we're going to be doing on the rear end is going to be starting to put new components in. We've got a lift kit, clean up that axle. I've got the lift kit from Rough Country. Mitch from Rough Country, my buddy, sent me these shock bars, and if you wanted to see where to get these, if you're having problems with your shocks, then go to this link here, or you can click on the Road Nut Garage featured products, and it'll have a picture and a listing for these shock bars here. But that really eliminates the issue that you had before of the shocks mounting. This mounts them on the bottom rather than trying to come up through and these shock bolts being rusted out. So thank you, Mitch. That's awesome. We will be featuring Rough Country on the lift kit, as well as adjustable control arms that Mitch procured for me, and I really do appreciate his help on all that stuff. So that's going to be featured coming up very soon. We're going to be treating the bottom up here for rust. There's not a lot. We're going to be using some Eastwood products to treat that little bit of surface rust that's on the back, and the back end will be pretty much done. Clean up the drive shaft and move forward. Okay, so I felt like I had a pretty productive day today. I got the locker installed. There's a few tips on that I showed in the video. It wasn't really that hard except for the C-clip thing. You got to put everything to get put in inside the carrier before you try to put your clips on. It's not going to work the other way. So get it lined up, get those clips in, and then shouldn't have any problems with it. Now we're going to be testing it once I get a motor in. Without a motor, it's kind of hard to test the lockers. The transmission doesn't, in drive, neutral, it doesn't matter because there's no engine attached. So can't do a lot of testing on the lockers, but I did get it to click a couple of times, so I do know that they're working. We're going to try some synthetic grease in the rear end because I've heard that does a good job as far as like minimizing wear, and also the noise is a little bit less on the lockers on the synthetic. I don't know, we'll find out, but it was really super cool. So all that to say is we're going to keep moving on, working on the Jeep. It's good to be back on it. No more Toyotas for a while, right? Hopefully, cross your fingers. And everything's going great. Let's just keep moving on. I'm David from the Redneck Garage. Keep turning wrenches.